Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Bitto. Today we will ponder the question, can you teach entrepreneurship? Can you take somebody and turn them into an entrepreneur? Or are you just born that way? Well, I'll give you the short and simple answer and then go into an explanation. Yes, I believe you can teach somebody how to be an entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that because I have something to sell. If you saw my first video in this channel, my intro, I don't have a PDF file for $79 with the secrets of success that I want you to download and give me your money. And I'm not a coach, so I'm not selling expensive coaching services or the whole mastermind thing. And I'll go into the whole entrepreneur industry later on. There are many ways you can become an entrepreneur and learn how to become one. But what I've seen is that there are three types of entrepreneurs out there to various degrees. There's the wantrepreneur, the person who just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks about it. And I think for that kind of a person, there's a psychological benefit that they get for talking about all of this all the time. I think it's kind of like the person who has a really bad job and goes home and on the weekends spends 12 hours playing video games where they're the Viking and they're killing all the Skrellings and all that stuff, and they feel powerful and everything, and that satisfies their need to be a warrior or something, and it's only pretend, but it's good enough for that person to go back to their miserable life. And I think it's the same thing with the wantrepreneurs, the people who just talk about being an entrepreneur. It fulfills some need. And it seems like I'm always attracting these people in my life because they know I'm an entrepreneur, that I've had my own business for almost 17 years, and they want to bounce things off me or something. But there's no history of action there. So there's that type of entrepreneur, which is really not an entrepreneur. Then there's the quasi-entrepreneur I've seen. And that person has a full-time job and they play around with petty capitalism in their off hours. You know, they'll get a free couch on Craigslist and then sell it at the swap meet for $40 or something. You know, that little thing. They have entrepreneurial tendencies, I'd say. And, you know, there's no judgment here, even for the guy who pretends to be a Viking killing all the Skrellings. There's no judgment here. I'm just telling you what I've seen. So there's that part-time entrepreneur, quasi-entrepreneur who won't do it, or there's something blocking that person from doing it full-time. But they do it on the side and they get some extra cash and they feel really good about that. Then, of course, there's the full-time entrepreneurs, people like me, who would never work for someone ever again. The last time I had a job was early 1999, late 1998. The last time I made a resume was 1998. I'm never doing a resume again, and I'm never working for anyone again. I'll work for myself for $5 an hour before I go and work for someone else. And those are like the pure blood entrepreneurs. And I've known a lot of them who have made incredible sacrifices for long periods of time to make sure that they realize their dreams. And we'll talk about sacrifices that you need to make in another video also. There's so many video topics here. But anyway, that pure blood entrepreneur will do anything and will work hard and, you know, will sacrifice pretty much anything for the whole idea of entrepreneurship, to be his or her own boss and not to work for somebody. But can you turn the guy playing the video games, the wantrepreneur, and can you turn that quasi-entrepreneur into full-fledged, true blood entrepreneurs? I think so. But it does take work. I mean, it takes a change of a mindset. You have to be completely dedicated. And like I said in another video that I recently made, you have to internalize things to such a degree that your goals, your aspirations become part of your subconscious. They're just a part of you, an extension of you. I think it's easier, of course, for the quasi-entrepreneur, the person with entrepreneurial tendencies. The example, the Craigslist couch example. I think it's easier to turn that person into a full-time entrepreneur than it is, of course, the wantrepreneur. But I think anybody can learn anything. You can change your mindset. If somebody says to you, oh, you'll never be an entrepreneur, you'll never start your own business, well, you know what I think about that. Don't listen to them. You have to figure out what you're lacking, what the gap is that you need to fill to make you a full-time entrepreneur. I talked to somebody, a friend of mine, I've been friends with him for many years. He's a part-time seasonal worker, and he's on aid, government aid. And, it's the whole big sob story, I'm poor and I deserve aid and all that stuff. And I asked him, well, why don't you start something on the side? You have all this time. Start selling things on the internet. Get a little website going. And then he said, well, I'm not motivated like you. I don't have your same level of motivation. And then the conversation ended. That was supposedly a sufficient excuse. There, we're done. Okay. No more discussion. That ended it. No. If you don't have the motivation, find out how to get it. Fill in those gaps if you really want to be an entrepreneur. If you don't want to be one, well, then you can keep going to that cubicle, and on the weekend you can kill a lot of Skraelings in your Viking helmet. But I do believe you can learn how to become an entrepreneur. And I say go for it. Do it. Try it. And you'll be very, very satisfied in the end if you stick with it. That's all I have to say on this topic for today's program. Thank you so much for watching. If you found any sort of value in this, please share with your friends, like me, and give me some feedback if you want to. And there are certainly more videos to come. Until next time, remember to work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.